and welcome to Minerals, Rocks, and Fossil Talks. I am your mineralogy teacher, Jen, and it's time for some Throwback Thursday. So let's take a look. This here is Hans Christian Ørsted. He is a Danish physicist who was born on the same day as my dad, but 183 years earlier. His father was the town pharmacist, so he learned to love science at an early age. Now, in 1800, an Italian physicist named Alessandro Volta invented the first battery, which sparked Ørsted's interest in electricity. He got a travel scholarship to tour science headquarters throughout Europe to help him with his studies, which is frankly super freaking awesome, and I would have loved one of those when I was in college. While he was in Germany, he met this guy, Johann Wilhelm Ritter, who was convinced that there was a connection between electricity and magnetism. Little did he know how right he was. Now, Ørsted agreed with him, and he began his own experiments. And it took him many years to figure out what the connection was, but by 1820, by golly, he did it. He figured it out. Using a compass, he discovered that the needle would be deflected from magnetic north if there was a nearby electrical current. It took him a while to figure out how that all worked, because he thought that magnetic waves radiated just like light and heat waves do. They do not. In fact, after some intensive investigations, he found out that an electric current produces a circular magnetic field. Two French physicists read about his work, and they took that work and they developed them a little bit more, those ideas that he had. André, Marie, and Père showed that two parallel wires carrying electrical currents would attract or repel each other depending on whether the currents flowed in the same direction or in opposite directions, respectively. This laid the foundation for electrodynamics. He did some work with this French mathematician, Pierre-Simon Laplace, and the two suggested using this idea for communication in the form of the telegraph, though it would be almost 2 decades before the telegraph actually came to be. Then, in 1824, Ørsted discovered aluminum by mixing aluminum chloride with a potassium amalgam, which produced a metal that looked remarkably like tin, which is why we call it tinfoil, even though it's aluminum. Okay, sort of. The two are very, very close. Now, he did all this cool stuff, and I just wanted to throw in a random fact because I love this guy, too. So, Hans Christian Ørsted was really good friends with Hans Christian Andersen. I guess when your names are that close, you gotta be besties, right? If you don't know who Hans Christian Andersen is, he was an author, and he wrote some of the best stories out there. The Little Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling, The Snow Queen, Thumbelina, The Princess and the Pea. Great stories. And, I don't know, the idea that two Hans Christians were besties just made my day, so I wanted to share it with you all. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about some electromagnetism and aluminum discovery and all that from a super cool Danish scientist. I hope you tune in tomorrow, because we're going to be talking all about Quetzalcoatlus, who won March Madness, and, I mean, frankly, it's one of the coolest animals out there, so look forward to that. And I will fossilize you later.